Welcome to my channel. I am Junior Wing. I am a writer. Today, I would like to talk about Aye Yeik Tha. Aye Yeik Tha was the place where my grandparents stayed after the World War. My grandparents, Khin Maung Latt and Khin Myo Chit. My grandfather, he was a writer and English teacher. My grandmother, she was a writer and journalist. During World War, my grandparents stayed at their friend's place. At that time, my grandfather, he was a tutor at English department in the University of Rangoon. After the World War, when the time came, they had to leave their friend's place. Sadly, they had nowhere to move. They did not have their own place. But luckily, the authorities, the rector at the university, let them stay at the place on the university campus. The place, a little ramshackle shack. It needed a lot of repairs. So my grandparents asked their friends to help to repair the place. Among them, Tin Lin. He was a famous writer in Burma. Tin Lin and his family and my grandparents and their family, they stayed together at that place. My grandmother, remember, she was a writer. She did very important tasks before they stayed. She gave it a name, Aye Yeik Tha. It means cool and pleasant shade. The name also similar to far from the madding crowd. They stayed at Aye Yeik Tha between 1950 and 1955 for 3 or 4 years. They are friends, of course. They were writers, poets, journalists, painters, artists, cartoonists. Among them, it includes Mao Ka, a writer, Takatojima, a writer, Hantawadi Uwinjin, a writer and journalist, Ubajan, a cartoonist, and etc. They love to visit Aye Yeik Tha and they spent together a very wonderful time, very beautiful time. The name Aye Yeik Tha became well-known place, especially for the Burmese readers because of the writings of Tha Sui. Tha Sui, he was a post-war writer. He was humorist. He visited Aye Yeik Tha every weekends and spent together. He wrote about Aye Yeik Tha in his stories, in his articles, and created so many serial stories mixed with real situation at Aye Yeik Tha, and he used real persons' names in his stories, including my grandparents' names. So the Burmese readers love to read his writings very much. The name Aye Yeik Tha became very familiar with Burmese readers very much. So they wanted to read more about Aye Yeik Tha a lot at that time. Also, the writer Tin Lin, also he wrote about Aye Yeik Tha in his writings, in his articles and his stories. So Aye Yeik Tha became well known and very much popular among readers in Burma. But I could not give you the exact location of Aye Yeik Tha, which existed more than 60 years ago. The location today. Now the place was changed a lot. Aye Yeik Tha, the place of Aye Yeik Tha was replaced by new buildings, roads, streets, a lot of changes. So I cannot give you the exact location of Aye Yeik Tha, but I can give you the nearest location. Aye Yeik Tha was near at Rangoon University and P Road. That's all I can give you the near location of Aye Yeik Tha. The place Aye Yeik Tha was very resemble the place Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson's place, 221B Baker Street, created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Yes, of course. But the difference was, Aye Yeik Tha was very authentic. The people who stayed at Aye Yeik Tha were real persons. This photo was taken at Aye Yeik Tha. I will introduce you some writers and a poet. Tin Lin, a writer. Tha Sui, a writer. G.A., well-known Burmese woman poet in Burma. And my grandparents, Khin Maung Latt and Khin Myo Chit, and their only son. He became a writer, a mathematician, and later he obtained his PhD at Caen University in France. Of course, he became my father one day. This group photo was taken by a friend of my father. Aye Yeik Tha Villa. This photo was taken by my father. You may see there are two persons outside Aye Yeik Tha. She was my grandmother. And the other, he was the friend of my father. He became an engineer. This photo was also taken at Aye Yeik Tha. My grandparents and Utukha, a writer, actor, singer, and director. Tan, she was a writer and journalist. They were rehearsing a play for Writers' Theatre at Aye Yeik Tha Villa. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time. Sans espoir de retour, faut-il nous quitter sans espoir de nous revoir un jour?